Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. A proudly South African welcome to Sadhna, the Inward Path, on this special Human Rights Day. Today we celebrate the freedom and equality enshrined in our country's Bill of Rights as we explore various facets of Hindu worship in our country. At a visit to the Beacon Ridge Primary School, we see that the call of duty goes beyond just education. At a stopover at the Gurudwara Sahib in Johannesburg, we observe the exotic take root and grow. And at the Sudha Mandir in Chatsworth, we see our ancient scriptures come alive at a Mahakumbha Abhishekam. Our constitution states that all children shall have the right to a name, to health, to security, education, and equality of treatment. Beacon Ridge Primary School at the border of Welviduct and Chatsworth is a shining example of dedicated leadership and active community support in enriching the lives of underprivileged children. Its vision is to create a happy, stable school community for each learner to acquire the necessary skills, abilities, values, and attitudes. Sadhna was privileged to learn more about this inspiring school under the leadership and guidance of Guru Kriba Vayapuri.
Nestled on the ridge separating Chatsworth and the market gardening community of Welbedacht, Beacon Ridge Primary first opened its doors on the 28th of July 1981. It boasted a predominantly homogeneous learnership of Indian children from both the adjoining Nikes Farm and Montford, Chatsworth. Yet, in a short space of time, the pretty picture of a modern school succumbed to the effects of rapid social change. The dismantling of the scaffolding that held the abhorrent apartheid ideology together was accompanied by its fair share of challenges. Beacon Ridge Primary School bore the brunt of vandalism, pillaging and plundering, to the point where the school was described as the most dilapidated in the greater Chatsworth area. This was accompanied by a mass exodus of learners who sought admission into the neighbouring schools.
Upon my arrival at this plant, I must be very, very candid, I must be very frank, and I must be forthright, and I must be truthful in saying that I was very, very disappointed. In fact, disappointed to the point where I wanted to actually leave the plant immediately. The community itself comes from a very, very disadvantaged socio-economic background. But with the assistance of very generous sponsors, and the Satya Sai organization and many other NGOs, we were able to get the school up and running. And we began to rebuild.
Keeping the vision and the mission statements of the school as its guiding principles, together with Nelson Mandela's famous quote on education, the principal and his committed staff put the shoulder to the wheel in transforming the campus.
We learn so much, isn't it? And we learn all the time. And what did Madiba say about education?
It's the great weapon which you can use to change the country.
It is a great weapon that we can use to change the country. The food parcels are prepared on a monthly basis and given to the learners. The breakfast and the lunches for these little learners on a daily basis, with so many of them being immunocompromised.
Despite the severe socio-economic woes that confronted the learners and the fact that they live in an area that is crime-ridden, the school has still succeeded in instilling a sense of moral integrity in the children by adopting the very simple adage of do good and be good.
What is the rule of our school?
Be good and do good.
Now, if mommy is not at home, go when I call Lapakaya, the teacher I call Lapaklasi, Ubani Bona all the time.
Wow.
Oh, he's watching us. Where? That is why you can't go and make a mark in the toilet. Here's a case of a learner who I picked up 1,000 rands, 5 200 rand notes, wrapped into a small square, dropped on the campus by one of my educators. This was 2:30 in the afternoon. There was nobody here besides my teachers in the staff room. And he comes and knocks at the door, asks to see me. And when I tried to inquire from him, what is it that he had wanted to see me about, he mentioned to me that he had found this money. The first thing I did was to tell him, listen, bring all the other learners who were with you when you found this money. Can you bring them to me? He says, there was no one with me. When in front of the entire staff, I asked him, what is it that prompted you to come and return this money? And this is what he had to say to me. Teacher Mkhulu, you always say, if nobody is watching, uNkulunkulu wethu is watching.
Despite the daily challenges and the emphasis on academic improvement, life is far from dull for the learners. Through personal examples, educators inspire pupils to consistently excel in a wide range of activities. Learners' artwork saw the school winning the much-coveted first position in the Barnard Jacob Mellett National Art Competition.
So I'm very proud of my learners because in front of me I have here many of their achievements, that is artwork that, as you can see, has been featured in the BJM calendars. That's how much our learners have excelled.
A superb teacher demonstrates, but the greatest teacher is the one who inspires. And I've seen that in action with my educators.
Inspired by bright and glorious achievements and accolades that the school continues to accumulate is the aspiration for self-sustainability.
The 350 Rand a year school fund is hardly ever forthcoming. Nobody pays me a cent. I can rant and rave. Am I going to get water out of stone? Can I send a lawyer's letter to a gogo who is looking after children that are orphaned? Can I send a lawyer's letter to an unemployed father who's lying sick in his bed with all his ARVs lying next to him? Can I send a lawyer's letter of demand for school fees to a parent in whose home not one bit of furniture or evidence of food is to be found? They say, we make a living from what we get, but we make a life from what we give. And I must say thank you to all those who gave and gave and gave. But I think it'll be a show of ingratitude to be continuously receiving without making any attempts to become self-reliant.